Okay. I think I need to be a little bit clear about this meeting. It's not so much that in this meeting this guy rejected me, because that didn't happen. I'm more or less rejecting him. Um, he was definitely, first of all, we were coming up with, well, should it be a documentary, a short film or a series? Series makes easier to sell, and this is how the process of selling it. And so then we were looking at what kind of format it would be, like an interview host type thing. Now, I told the guy that I did have some hosting experience. I volunteered for 3 years at Shaw Cable Community. So, and I've done an awful lot of TV work, lots of TV work. So I'm not an expert, don't have an education in it. Um, know that you come across better the more you are yourself. That's the biggest lesson I've learned of hosting is just be yourself. Don't be nervous. Don't. I mean, some of the things that were going through my head, just worrying about what people think of me as I'm like on this film. Uh, the more unnatural I was, and the more I just wasn't doing a good job. But the more I relaxed and the more I didn't give a shit, similar to YouTube, the more natural it seems and the more popular I was. I was doing a much better job. The more I just relaxed and didn't care so much about what other people think. Now, he was telling me that, no, you can't do the job. And I'm like, okay, who would do the job? And he was saying, well, we get a professional to do the hosting, and it's your job to do the research. And it's like, no, 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 no. I can't see how that would work. And there was no talking. Like, he just was very, very negative. And at that point, he had really put me down. Told me that, well, you're unemployed, so nobody's going to buy the fact that you can actually do a job because you're unemployed. That, first of all, like, sorry, I'm bombarded with that concept being on this welfare system. As soon as anybody hears that you're on that system, they say that you're dumb, stupid, can't do a job, yet you want people off the system. It makes no logic sense to me. If I've done this level of research, there is some value to me, especially when I haven't seen anybody else talking about this shit. Um, and what I'm finding, like, I don't want to be a host. It's not something that I want. I just want this information shared. But it's like, you gotta share this information correctly. Um, I am not interested in sharing bullshit information. So if we got another host in there, and I told her exactly what questions to ask. The thing is that you find out the contradictions in the conversation, and there's no way in hell I can predict what everybody's going to say. If I ask a question, I'm not going to know how you're going to respond to it. And it's in that response that you find the contradiction. So it's like getting Dr. Phil, who is full of crap, but this is kind of what I'm seeing needs to be done is a show similar to that, more of a healing type show. So the doctor can't host it. You got to get somebody that's trained in hosting and teach them how to be a psychiatrist. It's like, it makes no logic sense. It would take too friggin' long to try and teach a host how to know a contradiction when one shows up. It's like doing the whole show, all of it, the whole friggin' series, even if it's 5, 10 years worth, before we start to understand a different perspective, that's when a host will be educated enough to know how to do that type of hosting jobs. It needs to be educated to be able to do the job. Just because you're a host doesn't mean you know how to do the job in this particular area. But this guy didn't want to get that. He just didn't want to see that I had any value at all. And, then kept throwing, he doesn't work for free. So, and yet he's giving me a long list of things that I need to do for free. And it's like, isn't that odd that people that are on welfare or considered unemployment or whatever way you want to do it, they can't do a job because you're unemployed. But somehow we're able to do a lot of work for free. So I don't know. I got offended and left the room. And I'm not going to follow up. It's probably, there still is a potential there. But it's like, do I really want to spend that much time on it? It's like trying to convince my ex-husband not to be abusive. There's no talking to him. If he doesn't want to stop being abusive, if he doesn't want to live his best life, there's no talking somebody into living their best life. They gotta kind of want it. I don't know. It's like when somebody, this is my experience with my kids, is they're starting to repeat this pattern, lots of abuse, and I'm seeing these patterns repeat. You can't escape that, and it's offensive me saying that about my own kids. They'd be offended by me saying it. So my kids don't listen to me. It's like, when you treat somebody like that, they're probably going to divorce you eventually. Or do you know that when they're treating you that way, that abuse is going to escalate and you will probably leave him because of the abuse you're going to endure for how many years? So both sides of this pattern that's being repeated, either the victim of or the controlling person, don't want to receive any information, to the point where you're not allowed to talk. So I find it even more frustrating where you're not even entitled to speak. You're not even entitled to ask the question. So I've kind of learned that you're strongest when you go with the energy. And to convince somebody of something is, if it's challenging, if it's too hard, it's probably not the good direction to go into. Go with something that flows, that's easy. I think the direction I'm going to go into is just, I'll wait till this stuff just gets discovered. I'm finding more success on YouTube, not that I'm even interested in volume. That is not what I'm interested in. I'm interested in finding like-minded people that want to view a totally different perspective. And it starts just with one person and then grows to 2, then 4, then 6. So it's not so much that I'm looking for high volume on my videos, but it's the quality of the conversations. Just me putting this out there, there's going to be some comments out there, and those comments make me think about myself, make me reflect on myself, because ultimately I am the creator of the reality that I experience. I own all of it. How that meeting went completely was my responsibility. I don't know, I've seen a lot of very negative things happen just prior to that meeting, and all the time I was going to that meeting, it was like, this is not a good direction. I had the biggest sense. And how I knew that is I had to walk there, and I wore these high heels that I knew should be thrown in the friggin' garbage. They are the worst shoes I've ever bought. They're old. They're about $200, and I've never really worn them because they're crap shoes. You cannot walk in them. And I ended up freaking putting those shoes on, and I couldn't walk. I was walking barefoot most of the time, in a dress, barefoot. So I'm like, this is not a good sign. I knew better, and I didn't make a better decision. So that was one sign. Then it looked like it was raining, so I was going to take an umbrella because, didn't want my hair wet for a meeting. I've never been rained on for like over 10 years. But I ended up bringing an umbrella. That was dumb because it's like really hot and sunny, and I got sunburned. What else went wrong? Got lost. I went around this block walking bare feet for about 45 minutes. And that was dumb because I kind of knew where it was. How did I get lost? It was just plain dumb. There were so many things, one after another, that it was just not flowing perfectly. And those are the signs that tell me this is not a good direction. So I don't believe that there are any mistakes. I don't believe meeting and doing that was a mistake. There is a law of attraction going on. I'm kind of thinking that when I have this urge, this push, this thing I need to do, it's almost like the universe is pushing me. And I'm hypersensitive to this now. So when I feel this massive push, it's like the humanity's consciousness is like there's a magnetic pull. So it wasn't so much my idea as, okay, this guy was looking for answers, and when you talk to him, he's saying, yeah, I'm into The Secret, I'm into Monsanto's and big pharmaceuticals, and these mental illnesses that aren't really mental illnesses, that he can see. I mean, he's seeing all of the things that are wrong and says that it's not a conspiracy. These are facts, and it's like, okay, we're on the same page. What do we do about it? Like he says he wanted, these are his words. He's interested in, wanted to learn more about it, but never really did. And then I show up. So he's asking the universe for some answers, which created that law of attraction, that magnetic attraction that, is like somebody pushed me. It's like, here, this person wants you. So you get pulled in, sucked in by somebody else's wish. And you're thinking, oh, I'm here because I want to be. It's really, really hard to see where you are projecting and when you're looking at somebody else's projections, because recognizing somebody else's projection is just your projection recognizing somebody else's projection. I mean, it's a really fucked up game. So I'm a player in this. I went willingly. So there's something of value in it for me. And some of the words that are coming up are really making me think. And it is, I should have asked better questions and just left the room. If you don't have any value for it, this is pointless even talking about it. Pretty sure he would have put value in it right away if I would have sort of demanded that this is valued. So it is the good questions. Don't work for free. that was the advice. So when I'm working with somebody else, I'll make sure that I don't work for free. I'll work for free for myself. So I learned some really good lessons out of it. It's not a bad deal. Plus, his brain has to think about all of the ideas I gave him. Peace out.